Hello there, I'm Helen Sadler, your Destiny Helper, coming to you once again with another video that you, my family, has requested and asked me if I would do this video. I want to talk about qualities of the cerebral narcissist and the sexuality. Many of you that have been with a cerebral narcissist know that they can be quite vain. I mean, vain about knowledge and information. They're always researching. They're always reading. They like medical journals. They like information channels, anything that feed their mind, because they're around intellectuals and they prowess themselves with them. And the one thing they do, you as supply, they always compete against your intellectualism, and they always tell you what you cannot do and how you are coming short of what they are, and why don't you feed your mind. And when you read books, they down the books that you read, and they're quite unemotional. Well, that's period with the narcissist, but even more so with the cerebral narcissist. They can be quite hostile, quite introverted. They can be very, very, very vicious. They are highly competitive, and they will compete with you every chance they get, and they always bring in words they think you don't know, and then they will criticize you for not knowing those words. They get in the bed, they turn over, and they're turning their back to you, and the only reason a lot of time they get sexually involved is because they know it's necessary. They don't want to lose the main supply. So they do what is necessary to keep you there. Most cerebral narcissists don't want to be bothered with looking for supply. Now, those who are around people and you have some extroverted cerebral narcissists. They're around people in the political arena, medical arena. They're lawyers, so they're always going to these different galas, these different mind conferences, and they're always attending to learn more and more and more. And they're always in class. They're always in school, and then they compete. They despise illiteracy. They despise people that are beneath them. And with the narcissist, everything is beneath them. They have children, and they're very hard on the children about educations, and they use their children to compete against other children, and they use their children to help establish their intellectualism. And when you tell them they need to back off, they get very, very angry, until a lot of children start being whatever the dad wants. If they're the cerebral narcissist, or the mom wants, if she's the cerebral narcissist, they forget about what they want. They forget about their dreams. They forget about their goals, and you find them as a replica of the narcissist. And if you interfere with them, some of them can be very violent, because they are hostile when you tread on their holy grail called intellectualism. They worship it as a god, and no one, their mother, their father, no one adds up or is equivalent to their intellectualism. And they take their children and they read to them. You'll find the baby, they got different music going on, classical music, and they're constantly got books where there's audio books to the child. They're reading to the child, because one day they're saying, you're going to be the greatest specimen that I ever created, because you're going to do this. And they're not doing it because they love the child. They're doing it because they want the trophy that the child is going to become. And they would despise you interjecting emotions and feelings. And you said, why don't you ever hug the child? And they said, the child don't need a hug. The child needs a book. And you have gone months upon months without being touched. And when they touch you, it's just get it over with. It is like making love to a chair. They do what they do, and they roll out, and they keep it moving. And it's never an embrace. It's never a hug. Where narcissists don't love you, but that some narcissists try to prowess themselves with being great lover, where the cerebral could care less. You get it, you don't. And they move on. The only time that you may see them with a great effort is when they're getting ready to lose the supply. The cerebral narcissist is so engaged in intellectualism, they don't want to be bothered with trying to please please you, but they don't want to be bothered with trying to lose you, because they lose nothing. They are so together, they keep everything. And when you put on your black dress and have your hair fixed, and you're going to symphonies, you're going to ball, you're going to galas, you're going to dinner, they want you to look the best, be the best, smell the best, because they take over conversation, they take over environments, they take over presence, and they interject you as part of that. And so they want to make sure that they are known, that you love them and you are satisfied with them and you can keep them. And so narcissists that are cerebral really pride themselves in long-term relationship, because like their other peers, they have wives that they've been with for 25, 30 years, and they don't want to come up and their wife left. So they do the necessities, and they call it the necessary evil, in order for that relationship to survive. So when you are with a cerebral narcissist, you know what a narcissist is almost like being robotic in your relationship. But the cerebral narcissist is mind. They're mind controlling. They're mind engaging. They know about the mind. They study the mind. Psychology is their number one asset. So they learn to use this on you. And whatever it is, they're going to display the opposite, because they're going to use psychology. And the psychology is to go against what you want, and then they word salad you, and then they gaslight you until you don't know whether you're coming or going. And because their specialty is the mind, there's a different kind of pressure with a cerebral narcissist. Many people that are with a cerebral narcissist end up losing their mind, because they specialize so intent on the components of the mind, the working of the mind, the breaking of the mind, the gaining of the mind, the destitution of the mind, the overthrowing of the mind. All of these things is about mind. Think about it. If you were with a cerebral narcissist that happened to be a psychologist, and the psychologist that is a cerebral narcissist is opening people up and getting into the facts of what happened to them, and they're bringing more trauma, and they're getting fuel from the patient that they're supposed to be helping. And a lot of these patients end up being with their narcissistic, psychiatric, cerebral narcissist for years. I mean, they're with them for 20 years, and they're no better than when they started. And then they gaslight them to make it seem like they're getting better. They're already confused. They are already to the point where they are pressured. They are already destitute psychologically. And so now the cerebral come in and gaslight them and make them think things that is not there, and then they oppose them when they start to complain that they're not getting any help. The cerebral narcissist, like most narcissists, well, like any other narcissist, should I say, will not take blame. They cast the blame off on the subject, but the cerebral narcissists get their fuel from the mind functioning or the mind breaking. They can even get orgasm just from the elation of a mind trigger, where they're triggering their mind to success. And you tell them, I never thought of it like that. I never heard it like that. That is brilliance. This cerebral narcissist is better than sex to him. It's better than marriage to him. The praise of his mind, the praise of his thoughts is what he's thinking, and he lives on it. He thrives on it. He's raised on it. And it comes a lot of times from the competitiveness of them being a child against other children, and the pressure of always being an A student with their fathers. And especially the fathers have a tendency to take the smartest child and make them the golden child. And he despises all the other children. He differentiates that child, but he runs that child life. They can't think for themselves. They can't breathe for themselves, and they go into themselves and lock down. And it's the creation of a narcissist, and it's the creation of a second generation, and it's the mirror of what has been before him, called father cerebral narcissist. And the wife suffer because all she is a breathing mass in the background, never adding up, never equalizing, and used as a trophy. And to leave, he breaks her down where she feels she can't even think. She feels that she would be shamed to leave. She feels that she's nothing to anybody. That's the wife he wants. And when she goes out, he tells her how to act. He tells her how to be. And he just tells everybody, my wife is shy. But the truth of it is, his wife is 2 steps away from breaking down, for discovery that she's about to lose everything she thought she was and used to be and is no more. That is the cerebral narcissist. So when you wrote the letter and you said, why does he hate me so? Well, that is the penitive of most narcissists. That is the characteristic of most narcissists. It's just the cerebral. You can break them down with a teddy or candles and romance unless they are threatened. And they can become the best lovers in the world when they are threatened. But you will find yourself sexually having been attended to maybe 4 or 5 times a year, every 3 months, every 4 months, and they do it to keep you there, and they call it the necessary evil. And what you have learned is to get a book and romance him through a book. And you romance him through a book, and he will reward your cerebral romance with the pleasure that you want. But a cerebral narcissist is very competitive. Some are introverts, some are extroverts. They take over conversation. It's always about them. They dress to show their intelligence because they want to dress as if they appear intelligent. Whatever intelligence in their mind, that's what they want to look like. That's what they want to smell like. And they love wealth and money. And you better believe they will wear the best shoes. They will spend $200 for a pair of socks while the children eat cereal. They do not care. What they care is about the intellectual stance and the intellectual image that they have to portray. And so this cerebral narcissist is more tormenting than a lot of other narcissists because they specialize in the mind. They read books on brain. They read books on intelligence. They read books on adverse reaction of thoughts. They read books on mind control. They even go into sorcery and witchcraft, some of them, if it has to deal with the mind. Because to the cerebral narcissist, nothing is off limit for a psychological win. And you have learned to be lonely. And your comfort is books, magazine, conversation, TV, and you don't know what it's like to be helped and brought close to love and felt fulfilled. So you have this gaping hole. You always feel like if somebody could love me. You always feel like if he would just make love to me right. You always feel like if he would just converse with me, because he is totally abhorred by your conversation because he feels that it's beneath him. Even after you've read 10 of the most prominent books of intellectualism, is still beneath him. And you would never meet the standard with the intellectual narcissist called the cerebral narcissist. Intimacy is not part of the game. Reading, understanding, conversing intellectually is. And they will spend hours on the phone impressing, and then they will hang up when you try to impress them. The conversation with a cerebral narcissist is very, very, very weighty, very, very, very draining. They laugh at jokes that you'll be glad when the story is told and over. And most people with cerebral narcissists, they specialize. They're the best in the field because they learn it. So people want to be around them. People want to surround themselves because they're confident, because they do their homework. And this is when you got the cardiologist, the best in the world, cerebral narcissist. You got gynecologists, the best in the world, because they do their homework, because they have to prove They have to impress, and they have to be the best. That is some of the things of a cerebral narcissist. Love, romance, you will have to trigger that from another area, because the cerebral don't have time to give it unless he feel at a loss. I hope that I've answered some of these questions. And for you, you have to feed yourself, build your confidence, feed your mind. I talk a lot about the mind. The Bible said to transform it, change it to a place where it can never return, under no circumstances, under no pressure. And I agree. Do something with your mind. We have a young lady, and she has, what is her name? I'm trying to think of the lady who switched off my brain. What's her name? Caroline Leaf. Who switched off my brain and who switched on my brain. And she has a book. Those books are excellent. They're mind trainers. She trained you how to think successfully. She trained you how to think powerfully. Her name is Caroline Leaf. Who switched off my brain. She will show you the detriment of negativity in your mind under all circumstances. So as you grow, then you know. And as you pour into yourself, then you will expand yourself. Grow yourself past the pain. When you can't leave, do something about it positively. Surround yourself, build yourself, develop yourself, establish yourself. The cerebral likes the mind, then so do you. Fix your mind, build your mind, establish your mind, grow your mind. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. You can write me at destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. I love to receive your letters, and I love the comments that you place at the bottom of this video. Thank you so much. Please subscribe. Push that bell every time I come on. You will be notified. And those of my family, don't forget to subscribe. Push that bell. And every time I come on, it'll be me and you, one-on-one. Every time I come on, we are in our personal space, in our personal place, growing, learning, and gaining more freedom with each video. And also, I would like for you, those of you who want session, I am a life coach. And those of you who want sessions with me, please write me at destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. Leave your contact information and expect a call, and I will call you. And I do video, and I also do audio. So get the process and get the procedure of either one. It is my joy to fulfill these arenas with you, and there's no other elation than to see you free, expanding and growing, and for you to rediscover your authentic self. I am Helen Sattler, your Destiny Helper. God bless you. I will see you on the next video, and make sure you subscribe. God bless you.